Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. Hello, everyone. As always, I'm going to give about 3 minutes for people to get up in here. Then I'm going to get started and tell you guys all the purpose of Q&A Sundays, okay? Introduce myself and tell you the purpose of it so everybody can get used to it. I don't want to be, I'm trying to get myself not to always have to be the one talking, especially during Q&A Sunday. So what we're going to do is a little different. If the questions don't come, we're going to cut it short. We're not going to let it go 3 hours like we normally do, just talking about random stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got to shorten it up, use my time wisely. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to the SMD family. Welcome to my outlet of my passion. This is what my passion is. This is my outlet. Doesn't feel like work to me when I do this kind of stuff. I can do this all day, every day. But since I have a woman in my life, I can't do things like that. But if I was alone, it would probably be an obsession. Because every day, a new piece of the puzzle comes together. So it just never stops, So welcome, everybody. Get in here. We got about a minute and a half before I get started. Welcome. Get on in here. Welcome to the channel, unlike any other. Welcome. I teach you to become rich, wealthy, whatever you choose. All right. Those are two different things. All right. Wealthy and rich are two different things. I know a lot of people interchange those two words without once stopping to say, hey, why are they two different? Why are they two separate words? Nobody really stops to think about that. But I know I didn't when I was in debt. Sure didn't at all. Get in here. All right, we're going to get started in about 30 seconds, okay? Get on in here for Q&A Sunday. What's good, Nicer? Welcome. Glad you jumped in here about 10 seconds before we're going to get started. Now, my name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% conscious, debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where I lived for the first 40 years of my life, living in debt, believing in credit, believing I couldn't buy anything without credit and all that stuff, right? And then one day I woke up by simply trusting mathematics, found Dave Ramsey, followed his plan. I really didn't even need to buy anything from Dave Ramsey. He was just saying, hey, believe in math and you can be free. And then that's what I did. And I was free. Excuse me. And so, once I discovered that financial freedom is just not be in debt. It's not, you don't need to be rich to be financially free. You just need to not be in debt. And I didn't know that until I trusted mathematics. Now that I have experienced such freedom, I kind of just, I want to share with people what true financial freedom feels like. I know a lot of people just believe it's just, you don't have to worry about money or something like that, right? And when you're in debt, that's what you think, right? But when you get out of debt, you will discover that it's a whole entirely different world. You'll start to see the obvious. The obvious comes to me every single day. I kid you not. Sometimes it's depressing when the obvious shows to me because it's always something just right in your face the whole time. And like when you're in debt blinds you. It mathematically blinds you. That's the best way I can put it. Debt mathematically blinds you to things that are obvious in your face. It's just the craziest stuff. So in other words, in order to be rich, it's not a secret. It's just you have to just trust math and you'll be rich. That's it. Okay. But at the same time, when things are revealed to me, it's more things that I can help with my clients, because once my clients, they understand that all you need to do is trust math. It really doesn't matter while my clients are on their journey, may be just beginning to get out of debt or brand new on the north side of zero, right? It really doesn't matter. And to them personally, it matters, but to me, it's all the same, right? It doesn't. I just know which direction to point them, right? But this is the information my clients need, because they know they won't be able to just go to anybody and get the answers that they want, right? That they know they need. That's what I love about my service, right? They can email me, they can call me and say, hey, LJ, I am thinking about doing this, or somebody told me this. And then I just put, when they're already on the right track, I lay out the mathematical equation for them so they can see if it's a good or bad thing. You see what I'm saying? And then they just take that information to a professional and say, I want to do X, Y, Z, this, that. I want this, and this to happen. All right. What's up, Jewel, Quentin, Gabriel? Welcome. So it's wonderful to share, especially when I hear, clients. Many people don't know this, but I love it when those that listen to me, they'll listen to what I say, and then they'll go out into the debt matrix and say these things, right? And then they come back and tell me the responses. I always hear this the most. LJ, how did you know? How did you know they were going to say that? How did you know they were going to do that? How did you know they were going to respond with that? And all I tell my clients is, once you trust mathematics, you'll know everything. You'll know why they do the things they do, right? Here's one example, and then we're going to get into the article. Say, for example, it's like if they knew not to finance a car in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, do you think they would do it? If they already knew, this is how you got to look at it. If they already knew not to do that, do you think they would do that? So by them doing something in the middle of a pandemic, that tells me automatically that they don't know, right? So you don't have to get yourself involved with people that believe in debt and don't trust math. So, because you got to just think to yourself, if they knew not to get it, if they knew housing market values don't rise in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, do you really believe they would be financing a house in the middle of a worldwide pandemic? No, they would not. They would clearly see those housing market prices are clearly an illusion, a mathematical illusion. See? So that's what keeps you frustrated. Clients come to me with questions like that because they have loved ones. They're going to be like, hey, loved ones, don't keep digging yourself in the hole. This is why you're doing that. And then they're not going to listen to them. And then it's going to hurt. It hurts. It'll hurt when you see, the answer, and you see your loved ones just digging themselves in the hole. This will help you realize and stop and say, if they knew that, would they do that? The answer is no. You already know the answer is no, because by you not being in debt, you know better to do that because you trust mathematics. See, but if they don't, that's that. All right. So let's get to this article. Okay, let me make sure I read the title of it right. Okay, the title of this article. Let me add it to the stream there. Okay, the title of this article is "Americans Fell Behind on Nearly 18 Million Credit Card and Auto Loan Payments Last Month." All right, so if you're new to the channel, I'm going to read this from my debt-free eyes, okay? So you can understand what articles like this are really saying. Now, if you're new to the channel, I want to make sure you understand something. I'm not saying anything negative, positive about this article, who wrote it, whose website it's on. Not saying that they're credible, and they're not creditable. It doesn't really matter who they are. Okay. I am neutral to this article. I'm just going to read to you what it really means in the economy, the eyes of the economy that many people cannot see. Okay. All right. So Americans fell behind on nearly 18 million credit card and auto loan payments. Now, if you, again, it's in bold, so they really want you to see this. That's why they got it in big, big letters, right? Now, if you read it really fast, a person would browse this, and then they would run off and say, hey, 18 million people are behind on their credit card and loan payments. People do things like that. And they say, oh my God, yeah, 18 million. Oh my God. But they didn't say 18 million people. They just said 18 million credit card and auto loan payments. Okay. That's a big difference. All right. Because that's the first, because it almost got me. I was like, oh my God, 18 million people. Then I was like, oh no, it doesn't say 18 million people, right? So let's go down here. We're just going to go straight to the article. Millions of Americans are struggling to pay off debt as coronavirus-led economic fallout spreads further. Okay, that's obvious, all right? The share of credit card accounts entering financial hardship status spiked 3.2% or 14 million accounts in April, according to the new report from credit report agency TransUnion. Okay. Which is, you guys, I don't know if most of you guys know, but TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, those are privately owned businesses. Okay. They're not any, they're just making money. They sell your information for money. So of course their report is going to be pretty accurate. Okay. All right. Spiked in April, blah, blah, blah. The portion spiked higher in April. Okay. All these numbers. When you're in debt, you don't really know what any of these percentages mean. You really don't know. It just sounds fancy. Okay. So if you read this article, right, and you see those percentages and you don't know what they mean, say that to yourself out loud. I don't know what that means. Okay. Every time you come across something in a financial article, and you don't know what it means, say it out loud. Say it enough times to where you're going to get tired of saying that. Okay. All right. It says auto loans posted a similar slide into hardship with 3.5% or nearly 3 million accounts unable to cover monthly payments last month. Okay. That's another obvious. If they can't pay their rent or their mortgage, they're definitely not paying a car note. So that's stating another obvious. All right. About 2.7 million mortgages, or 5% of such loans, are currently in financial hardship. All right. That's obvious. TransUnion said, okay, home delinquencies have dropped from their year ago readings, though usage of forbearance programs could delay an uptick. Okay. I'm assuming they're throwing in that line to make it seem like it's not bad, but it's going to be but they tell you at the end of the sentence it's because the data is not right because of forbearances. But once the forbearances end, it's going to be a catastrophic drop that you've never seen before. 2008 is going to be nothing. Relief programs, including forbearance and deferment plans, allow borrowers to delay some payments and prioritize which debts to pay off first. If you have no money, the order of the debt doesn't even matter. The debts don't even matter if you have no money. That's okay. So you think they're going to prioritize? Okay, whatever. The government's $2 trillion stimulus bill opens some options for those struggling with credit products, but Congress will likely need to take further action, blockety blah. While these programs are providing consumers with temporary relief, banks and lenders are looking for further regulatory guidance as to what next steps should be taken when stimulus packages dry up. Me too. I wonder what's going to happen there myself. What's going to happen? He said in Wednesday's report. I know I'm wondering what's going to happen when that money dries up. While the coronavirus pandemic first emerged as a supply chain issue for the global producers, it's quickly emerged as the biggest economic threat in nearly a century. Soaring unemployment left more Americans less able to make monthly interest payments. Damn, they're just saying it right in your face. You're not even paying your bills. I mean, you're not even paying on the principal. Americans are less able to make the monthly interest payments. If they can't even make the interest payments, that's some serious trouble right there. It's going to be not that sense. Oh, interest payments and years long trend in increasing borrowing stands to exacerbate the problem. Exacerbate. I got to practice that word, exacerbate. See, that's what I do. I see that when I come across words I'm not pronouncing right, I copy them, I Google it, and then I press the play button to learn how to pronounce it correctly, know how many syllables it has in it, and its exact meaning. Okay. I used to always, like, when I read articles or come across a word that I didn't know, I would just skip over the word and keep reading, totally forgetting that word is there for a reason to explain the rest of the sentence. The only way the rest of the sentence is going to make sense if you understand that word. The average credit card debt per borrower is this. In the first quarter, up nearly $100 from a year ago. Yeah, I don't believe that number. That's totally wrong. According to TransUnion, I don't believe that for a minute. Delinquency rates, it's way higher than that. Way higher than that. Oh no, because of the pause. Okay, they put out that $2 trillion. So, okay, their data might be right at the moment until the stimulus money dries up, and then everything's going to change. Once the forbearances run out, once the stimulus money dries up, those numbers are going to change. Those numbers are going to change unlike anything you've ever seen in your life. Delinquency rates, the gross number of credit cards, have also jumped from the first quarter of 2019. Borrowers aren't without help. Several lenders have offered free forbearance options. Nothing's free. For loans and credit cards in wake of, are they saying instead of charging them a fee for the service? I don't know. It sounds like they're going to remove a service fee. Oops, I'm going to do that. Yet the short-term solution places pressure on the lenders and risks a wave of defaults. Oh, that's coming. Nothing's going to stop the defaults. Nothing's going to stop that. All right, let me get rid of that. All right, I was thinking about this today, and then we're going to talk about this article, but and answer questions. It doesn't have to be specifically on article, but I was thinking, and this is just what I'm seeing, okay? I want you guys to understand, I don't live inside the debt matrix anymore. I'm on the outside of the debt matrix. So I'm looking outside in. So for the longest, I've been thinking, what is the purpose? I mean, this pandemic. I mean, a pandemic that was worldwide and shut down businesses. Okay. At first, I was like, oh my God, man, this is crazy. How long are we going to be shut down? And then a month or two, everything shut down because of a killer virus, right? And then a month and a half, 2 months later, they opened back up. But nothing about the virus changed. So you always pay attention to things that don't make sense. That's the only thing I focus on, things that just simply do not make sense, right? So I go, so they open the business back up without no solution to the virus. Then I thought to myself, then why would you shut down the businesses in the first place if you were just going to open them back up in the exact same environment? That doesn't make sense. And then I realized I was paying attention to the wrong thing. When all I got to do is pay attention to what the majority would do. What are the majority going to do? Well, the majority are in debt. Okay, well, all right. So they're going to follow the money, regardless if there's a so-called killer virus out there. I'm not saying that the virus wasn't out there killing, but I think it was expanded bigger than what it really was. But that's that. Even me thinking about that, it's really not the mindset you think. Well, why they do that? Are they doing no? I think bigger than that. So now I just pay attention to the people. What would they do? Would they care? No, they want money. They chase money. Okay, well, all right. So if they open things back up, you think people would go back and doing things they normally do? Yeah, they've been screaming it all over the internet. I can't wait to get back to normal. I can't wait to get back to normal. Okay, they're begging for it. Okay, all right. All right, so let's see what happens when the businesses open back up. They open back up, people act like it never happened. So I'm thinking, okay, they're either gonna let this. What would the majority do if you let them? They'll let the pandemic fade away into the wind like it never happened. That's exactly right. All you got to do is go out there and look in the cities that have opened up. It looked like it never happened. That's exactly what the majority will allow to happen. Nobody will question what happened, why. I was thinking, oh, that's true. Then I thought to myself this morning, I was like, well, if that's the case, why such why such a big worldwide thing if it wasn't really that big in the first place, if it really wasn't doing what it's said doing? And then I thought to myself, coronavirus, it's the aftershocks. The coronavirus aftershocks are the purpose. These aftershocks will be felt for the next 50 years. The coronavirus was the key to starting the engine of the new economy. The new economy is here right now. It's still in the beginning stages, but it's here. The engine has started, and coronavirus was the key. Now the majority are going back to everything as if nothing ever happened. It's amazing to watch. It's like I'm watching a movie. When I drive past the beaches and the restaurants and I see them crowded, it's like I'm watching a movie. I want to jump out and say, hey, what about that virus that closed down everything? But you can't do that. The majority would think you are nuts. But I realize people in debt cannot see what just happened. The new economy has been created. It started. And I hope you're ready. Let me know what you guys think about that article too. Nicer says, people don't want the obvious pointed out to them. They get sarcastic and say stuff like, thank you, Captain Obvious. But sometimes it's good to bring up the obvious to gain different perspective. Yeah, they got to be nicer. They got to be ready to accept the obvious, right? They have to be ready to accept the obvious, because you better believe, while I was in debt, while I was in debt, I did not see the obvious. I didn't see that if I financed, because you got to remember, if I knew what I knew today, I wouldn't have never, ever in my life financed a car. I would have never done that. But I did it because I didn't know it. You know, it's just, it's crazy. What's up, Jonathan? Welcome. Cosmic Wisdom says, happy Sunday, every in the SMD. Nicer says, if any social media outlet wants to cover the real scoop on debt-free life, they would They would feature LJ's YouTube channel if they want the real solution to take steps to take. And you know what's so crazy about this, Nisa? You know, it's like, and I want you guys that are new to the channel, I want you guys to understand something. It's not a secret to becoming rich that the majority, remember this, the majority call getting rich a secret because they don't know how to do it. That's why they're saying it's a secret. So they just all believe it. If you just, it is not a secret. All you got to do is just trust math and you will be rich. It's really that simple. None of what I'm telling you is hidden. And I'm telling you guys this right now, especially if you guys are even the ones that are thinking of getting out of debt, they're freshly out of debt. Let me tell you something. I've been out of debt for like 6-7 years now, and I'm still discovering stuff. When you come over on this side, the north side of zero, it's not levels. It's puzzle pieces. Okay, nobody's really higher than anybody. Just there's different people on this side that know different pieces of the puzzle. That's it. This person will show you his piece that he knows. I will show another person a piece. We put those two pieces together. Now him and I both know 2 additional pieces to the puzzle. That's how it works. Pedro says, LJ, that's the same mentality of people with debt. But understand this, Pedro. The majority must remain in debt in order for this to work. Our economy runs on debt. The economy that people in debt see, that's the only one they see, and it must be that way. And they're not trapped there. You got to understand this too. This is how you can take your feelings out of it. They're choosing to be there by choosing not to trust mathematics. So they're choosing to be there. So when you see loved ones make mistakes like that, you got to say to yourself, they're choosing to be there. Okay. Shout out to Joseph. LJ Barbershop Conversation need their own series. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm thinking about when I get my hair cut, I'm gonna be pulling in all those stories, because when you're debt free, man, and you're in there in the barbershop and you're in there with your debt free ears, man, and you see the people walking in and out, the things they do, it will blow your mind. I was just getting like a load full of information just by sitting there, just hearing them talk. It's amazing. I might have to go ahead and spend the $25 a week to get in there just to listen to the stories and bring them back to share with you guys. But it must be that way, Pedro. The economy that we see outside the debt matrix controls that economy. All right. It controls it and runs it. Okay. People in debt must believe Gucci belts cost $1,000. All right. They must believe that. But if you thought about it, if you looked at the same belt mathematically, you would say, okay, it really didn't cost $1,000 to make that belt. That's impossible. See what I'm saying? That's how this is the only way I see things now. This will be your gift. Everywhere you go, things won't be the prices that people in debt believe they are. Okay. That's not true. You know, you see a brand new Corvette driving down the street and somebody say, oh man, that's the new Corvette. That's the so-and-so. It runs about $80,000. To me, I'll turn to the person and say, to who? $80,000 to who? You? Or people like you? That's not $80,000. It did not cost $80,000 for Chevrolet to build that, to make that one Corvette for $80,000. It did not cost that. Then they go, hey, well, how else are you going to get it, LJ? I said, I'll buy it from somebody that thought it was worth $80,000. When their payments get over their head, guess what? I'm going to get it from them for half price. Especially if they bought it during a pandemic. You guys that have money right now, save your cash, okay? All these people buying brand new cars during a pandemic, they're not going to have them in another year or so. They're not, probably not even a year. If you ever wanted a Tesla, next year will be the time. You ever wanted a house, next year and years after that, okay? I'm just saying next year is when it starts, okay? That's when it starts. Cosmic says, yep, LJ, people are going back to normal. Can't believe people are buying cruise ship packages. I heard about that, Cosmic. And from now on, Cosmic, you know what this pandemic taught me, Cosmic? Don't pay attention to the news. Don't pay attention to the stock market. Don't pay attention to real estate values. Don't pay attention to any of that. Pay attention to the majority. What would the majority do? At first, I came on here screaming, "Oh my God, games are done, gyms are done, no more crowds, blah blah blah." You know why I thought that? Because I was like, "Man, there's a killer virus out there, and nobody's going to trust that again." I was wrong. You know why I was wrong? Because I didn't stop and think, what would the majority do? Had I took a step back and said, man, if they started the NFL right now and opened the doors and the government and everybody in the United States cabinet or whoever said it was okay, what would the majority do? They would go back to football games. Had I just thought like that, I would have been like, oh, gotcha. Hmm. In the middle of a pandemic, they're buying cruise ship tickets. Now, if I would have stepped back and said, "Hey, if they opened up the cruise lines back up and gave them a remarkable price to cruise, what would the majority do?" They would go on a cruise. That's all you got to think. If you especially you youngsters, I hope, especially if you're in your 30s, all you got to do, the information is out there to become a multi-millionaire. It's right in your face. All you got to do is anything financial, all you got to do is the exact opposite of the majority. If you go to invest in something, all you got to do is say, what would the majority do? And do the opposite or play it however, whatever you're thinking about the majority would do at a particular incident. That's all you got to do to become rich. It's not a secret. And once you're out of debt, you know what else you can clearly see? The only guaranteed ROI investment in the whole entire country, taxes. The only guaranteed ROI are taxes. You know why? Because the majority are in debt. They pay the highest in taxes. You stay out of debt, do everything the financial opposite of them, you don't. That's it. That is it. Gabriel says, LJ, this recession is going to be worse than the Great Depression with more than 38 million unemployed. People here are back to normal. You know what, Gabriel? This is what you do, okay? This is what I want you to do. I want you to take your feelings out of the anger of seeing people go back to being, quote, normal. I want you to take yourself out of it for a minute, and then I want you to say to yourself, look at it from a different lens. Look at them. Look at all the people that really believe things are back to normal, though they are obviously not. And they won't be for the next 50 years. Just watch them. Just watch them. They're acting like everything is just normal. Hey, and we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. This is not just the United States. When you hear a person comparing this pandemic with 2008, you turn to that person and say, "Why are you bringing up 2008? Was there a worldwide pandemic in 2008? No? Then what the hell are you talking about?" They try to compare the two. You just look at them and say, "You know what? Neither you or I have ever been inside of anything like what's happening right now. So what are you talking about comparing it to 2008? That doesn't make any sense." You watch them, Gabriel. You know what? Let me tell you something, Gabriel. You're 19, okay? D- You you don't realize, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you don't realize you are one of the luckiest young men in a financial position in the world. And I really need you to recognize that, man. I really need you to recognize that because it's important. And the reason why I'm saying it this way, because you're going to be lucky enough to never had experience living in debt like I have for the first 40 years and didn't even know it. The first 40 years of my life, I didn't even realize I didn't even control my own life. And I didn't even know it. And I'm not even a dumb person. College educated, computer engineer, making 6 digits, all that stupid nonsense. And I still didn't know. I'm saying this to you, Gabriel, so you understand the power of what you know. And it's so simple, it's not even difficult. You'll be able to navigate through this financial world like you're Neo, man. At 19, nobody's going to be able to fuck with you. Nobody. And they won't even know how you're doing it, even if you told them to their face. Every time you start to get frustrated, Gabriel, I just want you to say to yourself, if they knew, would they be doing that? That's what you got to say to yourself each and every single time, especially being 19. You're going to see all your friends doing it. They're all going to be doing the finance and stuff and thinking it's theirs. And then you're going to get kind of upset because you love them and you care about them. But you got to stop yourself and say, if they knew, no, put it this way, if they trusted math, would they be doing that? The answer is no, because you know if they trusted math, they would not be doing that in a million years. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that super chat, man. I really do. Cosmic says, LJ, people want to stick to what they are used to. They are filling up the restaurants and bars just reopened here. See what I'm saying? That's how we got it. You know what? And you know what's so crazy, Cosmic? That's how we got to look at it from now on. People like that, people like us that know, we just got to, all we got to do is follow. What would the majority do? That's my lesson from this pandemic. When somebody asks me, hey, LJ, from now on, when people, because they're going to come back, people are going to come back. Oh, LJ, I thought you said NFL was never reopened. You know what I'm going to say to you? Say to them, sorry, I was wrong. Oh, LJ, you said the gyms wasn't going to open up. You know what I'm going to say to them? You know what? You're right. I was wrong. That's exactly what I'm going to say. I'm going to admit my wrong. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? But in my mind, I'm going to be thinking I should have said to myself, what would the majority do? Now, when somebody says, "Hey, man, do you think so and so is going to open back up?" and the NBA, you think people are going to show up? I'm going to say, yes, that's what I believe. Yes, they will show up. If they start selling season tickets for football games, you think people buy them and risk the coronavirus in the crowd? I'll say, yep. What's up, NC Biggs? Hello, Naima. Hello. How you doing? Joseph says, this pandemic told me to be a producer, not a consumer. Farmer Brown coming soon. Yeah, you be a producer. That's how it works. You gotta produce something that helps others. That's how to. This is what I'm. This is what I've learned. All these things I'm sharing with you guys, and again, I'm gonna stop sharing this stuff free, man. It's only for people that understand, really. But this is what I've learned, man. When you, if you're out there right now, because millions of people are thinking, man, what should I do? Right? Try not to think about how much money you're going to make. First thing you should think is, how am I going to earn the trust of millions of people in a non-trusting world? Of people, you got to earn the trust of a world filled with scammers, a world filled with financial scammers, people stealing, robbing them, stealing, just because they're in debt. People that risk the time in their life to steal from another person, that person's doing that because they're in debt. If somebody's out there willing to give up the time in their life for some paper, they're in debt. Become a producer, man. Earn, figure out your passion and figure out how you can earn the trust from the people that will follow you. Because I promise you this, once things start turning back around and you start charging the prices that you know you are worth, people that trust you will pay it. You know why? Because they know if they give you their hard-earned money, they're going to get what they're asking from you for. They already know they can just give it to you and walk away because they know they're going to get it. Pedro says, people are buying stuff with unemployment. The U.S. will be back in good status quick. Know how much they lose during the pandemic. The U.S. Federal Reserves are very strong. Let me see what you're trying to say here, Pedro. People are buying stuff with unemployment. Okay, that's true. The U.S. will be back in good status quick. Know how much they lose. Okay, the U.S. is not going to be back in good status, financial status, anytime soon. So, if you're in, put it this way, Pedro, if you're in debt, it's going to look like that, right? But once you get out of debt, it's not. Hold on for a second. Once you're out of debt, you'll clearly see that. Again, I'm going to say this one more time so you guys can get an understanding. The purpose, in my opinion, okay, the purpose, the aftershocks of the pandemic were the purpose, not the pandemic itself. Okay? The purpose of the pandemic was the aftershocks, not the pandemic itself. The aftershocks will be felt for the next 50 years. That's my opinion. People in debt can't see how much money is going to be made in taxes from this. They can't. People in debt can't see that. They only can see what's right in front of them. You gotta understand. You always gotta think, what would the majority do? For example, you saw how many people were happy over $1,200. Okay. There's not much you can do with $1,200, especially if you have car notes, credit card bills, mortgage payments, you know, insurance and payments. You know, there's people out there that pay more in car insurance than the car note itself. That's just mind blowing to me, right? $1,200 is not going to do anything. So if they're happy over $1,200 like that, that means they're in debt. So they're not going to take that money and spend it on debt, pay off their bills. They're not going to do that. No, I need to turn this phone off. It'd be making me lose my train of thought every time I read something. I apologize for that. Joseph Brown says, nicer. I'm gonna be eating fresh and looking fresh in my straw hat, overalls, and brown shades. What's up, arms dealer? Welcome. Fallout says, I'm not going back to the gym. I've invested $10,000 into my home gym and sauna. Nice. I like to do Olympic lifting, which many gyms don't offer. My garage has heat and AC. I heard that. That's smart, man. You could probably also Fallout. You know what you can do? People are, even though gyms are opening back up, a lot of people ain't going to trust them for a long time. I mean, this is the new economy anyway, right? I guarantee you, I was telling my friend this. I don't know if he actually did it. I said, man, why don't you, in your neighborhood, if it's in your garage, put up some cameras, right, and share with your neighbors and see them working out. Let them see you working out or something, right? And then after you're done, you're spraying down all your equipment with some kind of special germ killing stuff, whatever, right? Just let them see you do it, right? And then you say, hey, if you want to work out for an hour at my home gym or whatever, right? You can say, you can charge. People will trust neighborhood garage people they know. It's going to be like that for a while. You can make some money doing that. Like, oh yeah, I saw John's gym. I saw the URL and I clicked on there every hour is up. He takes about 15, 20 minutes to clean down all his equipment. And then he lets in the next group and they can see that. You know what I'm saying? They can see, if they can come in and see how you make sure everybody, covers the place they sit or whatever, who knows? But, you just think of something like that. Righteous Media Group says, once you're a producer, you're literally printing cash. Yeah, once you can figure it out, man. And I ain't gonna lie, it's tough. This is new to me. And then as things start rolling, the pandemic hits. It's like, oh, damn, the last thing people are going to be thinking about is getting out of debt now in the middle of a pandemic. Who's going to listen and say, hey, man, the answer is get out of debt. They're trying to, when they're trying to pay their rent or something, you know what I'm saying? So I even had to adjust my prices for a pandemic, right? You have no choice. You have to. Right. So I did it in a way to where people, even in a pandemic, they could still afford me to help them. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to have to come up with some kind of pay scale for responding to text messages, right? Because I'll get a lot of people that I don't even know be trying to ask me these questions, man. And I don't mind a small one. Hey, L, what is this, that, this? And then I'll say, okay, it's that, right? But some people be emailing me with some detailed questions. I'm like, I really can't answer you if I don't even really know your whole financial situation. I would be just giving you a general answer, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. So. Cosmic says, I think the U.S. Reserve at the moment is the most desired world currency. Pedro is right that the U.S. dollar will be in demand for the next 5 years or so. And this is just me, Cosmic. I don't look at the value of currency anymore. I don't say, oh, wow, euro is more than this. To me, it really doesn't matter to me, right? Because I look at it this way. The majority are in debt. That means money doesn't even exist for them. They don't, in any form, right? People who are in debt, they don't know that currency, money in any form doesn't exist, right? But you can't really explain that to people in debt, right? So now once I take the majority out of the equation, I think to myself, okay, why are they fluctuating this paper stuff from country to country? Why are they doing that? This is how I look at everything, right? Okay, the majority of people in debt. All right, cool. So that's a large percentage cut out the puzzle. Okay, now figure out, why are they fluctuating paper dollar bills? Why are they doing that? See, I haven't figured that part out yet. All right, that piece hasn't come to me yet, but that's how I think. So how long it lasts, if the U.S. dollar is going to be strong for the next 7 years, whatever, it doesn't, because I just watch people, right? And this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Looking across the currencies, the U.S. dollar now is being bought at a higher volume than usual. Pedro says, I know some friends who bought new cars just to drive for Uber. Not knowing it will depreciate 40% in 1 year because of the high mileage. Let me go a little bit deeper than that, Pedro. Okay. So you can see what that really is. So your friends financed a car because they had no money. So right off the bat, your friends probably thought they got the car for the sale price they saw in the window, right? They probably thought that, but nobody gets a finance car on sale, especially when you finance it for 7 years, 84 months, 72 months, 62 months. Nobody gets a finance car on sale, but obviously they thought that, right? Now, since they have no money and they're driving for Uber, I guarantee you they don't pay their taxes, guaranteed. I guarantee you, here they are, finance car to do a job, paying a percentage rate and full coverage insurance, and probably gap insurance on top of that, to drive for Uber. As a 1099 worker, I guarantee you they're not paying their taxes, guaranteed. And then and this is what people in debt do, especially for 1099 jobs that don't understand money, right? They will not pay their taxes for a few years. And then they will adjust their income to not paying taxes. So since they're not paying taxes, they'll say, oh, I can afford a car payment. I can afford another furniture payment or another. This is what they do until the IRS comes knocking on their door after 3 or 4 years, because they just haven't got to them. You know how busy the IRS is going to be this for 2020? The IRS are going to be very, very busy. Because the people in debt, they already blame taxes. Oh, if the taxes wasn't so high, if the taxes wasn't this and that, taxes. They already hate taxes. So what's the first thing they're going to stop doing? Paying the taxes. And it's like a ticking time bomb. What are you waiting for? You just think you're just not going to do it, and then it's almost like a self-sabotage trap, but it's really not a trap, right? And people just do that. Oh, I'm not going to pay the taxes. F taxes. They're too high anyway. That's what you think. Those are feelings. When you hear somebody down in taxes, oh, they shouldn't have, and then you got to think to yourself, are they telling me their feelings about taxes? Because that's 100% irrelevant. And when your friends' cars depreciate on top, people that finance cars, they don't really understand that a car goes down in value and up in price at the same time when you finance a car. And you finance in taxes. It just goes on and on and on. What's up, Dave Bourne? James Stowe says, on student loans, I have 4 loans. Should I pay the ones with low balance or pay the whole amount, which is easier? If you got the money to pay the whole thing, you pay the whole thing. Yeah, if you got the money to pay them totally off, you pay them off right now. Pay them off. Yeah, don't play around with that. Just when you deal, first of all, when you deal to pay off this loans, because trust me, they don't want you to pay them off. This is what I want you to do. You call them. You say, I need the payoff balance. And how long is this payoff balance good for? You say that. Okay. You pay it, and then you make sure you get a receipt. Pay it in a way that you know for a fact. Electronic payment is the best, but You know for a fact that you paid it. And then when that thing says zero, you print that, you get a copy of that, keep it on your hard drive, print it out if you have to. Make sure you keep your records that you paid that off. BLNS Holdings says the US money is almost 6 Brazilian reals. I don't know what that is. That must be Brazilian money. BLS and Holdings says the real was about 3.5 US dollars when I was there 4 years ago. Okay. Now, when we look, when I read at this article that Americans behind on $18 million worth of payments or something like that, 18 million payments, that's not surprising information to me. It's really not. It's going to be worse than that. Way worse. It actually wasn't. And I promise you, you youngsters, if you're hearing me, man, all you got to do, like I said, just keep saying to you, all you got to do is watch. Always say to yourself, follow the crowd, watch the crowd, watch them, don't follow. Watch the crowd, and always say to yourself, what would the majority do? This thing was the biggest, this pandemic is the biggest financial learning classroom that will never happen again for another 50 years at least. People don't understand that if they get to zero is the starting line of this brand new economy. Brand new. It's brand new. Brand new. Very few people know the direction of where this economy is going right now. Very few. You look at this article, 18 million payments. That's just some kind. I bet that's just an average. I'm guarantee you it's way more than that. Way more than that. Cosmic says the way I look at the article, LJ, is that those people in credit card debt won't be competition. I'd rather watch my competition. Exactly. They're not competition. Those in credit card, Cosmic, you don't even have to, right now, Cosmic, in your position, you don't even have to look at anybody that's competing with you on a property if they're in debt. You don't even have to worry about them. It's really, honestly, Cosmic, it's going to be plenty for everybody that understands money. There's no need to step on, outbidding anybody. There's going to be plenty of houses, plenty. Plenty. Dave Bourne says this video explains a lot. Middle class people with expensive cars and Mercedes, etc., on the food bank line in Connecticut, New York. They will not return their cars, but the food. They won't return their cars, but on the food bank. Read the comment section online. Okay, I'm gonna read that. I didn't read down there. This section. Let me see something. Let me see share screen. No, that's not it. Did I close it? I'll probably close it. I'll read it later. Pedro says, LJ, I know another driver who paid $5,000 in oh my God. $5,000 in tolls plus the late fees, $100 in tolls for $1 each. If paid, total equals $200, but they don't see it like that. God damn. But Pedro, it must be that way. And do you in the bigger picture, you guys have no idea how jealous big businesses were of Amazon, Uber, Lyft, all those people with food delivery people. They're all 1099 workers, all 1099 workers. All those, the majority of those workers, now I'm not saying all, I'm saying the majority of those workers now live day to day. Okay. They're used to getting paid daily now. Now, it doesn't matter. Debt is a mindset. So it doesn't really matter when you pay a person daily, weekly, monthly. It doesn't matter because they will adjust whatever you pay them to their debt lifestyle. So now those majority, and the majority will be 10. Oh man, I'm just thinking this is bigger than what it is, right? And now here's another piece of the puzzle that came to me. Okay. The businesses now can put people at home make them 1099 workers. Those people will get used to getting paid daily or weekly or however that goes, because there's a lot of apps out there now taking advantage of those people, like that one app that lets you borrow against your paycheck. But anyway, they will get used to getting paid daily, stay in debt, not pay their taxes. They'll be fined. They'll have to pay some fees every single year. They'll do it every year because they don't know what's happening. They'll just blame it on taxes being high. That's what they'll do, right? Yeah, this is gonna be really bad, man. And then when I say bad, no. When I say bad, no, it's the new economy. The new economy is being structured. Okay, it's being created right now. And if you don't understand, and you live in debt, say like your old normal was living in debt, and your new normal is still living in debt, it's going to be worse than before, because with millions of people out of work, the job wage can be lowered because they have more people in the pool to pick from that will work at a lower wage. This is obvious to me. This is obvious. There's millions of jobs gone, 50% capacity made by law. That means 50% less people to work, to have jobs, making 50% less, added 20% pay cut. See how that works? Why do you think Uber jobs now? There's a Darkman said there's a waiting list to become an Uber driver, uh, uh, food delivery person. There's a waiting list. Do you remember how people used to talk about people that got jobs like that? I bet you all that pride is out the window now. Guaranteed it's out the window. Righteous Media Group says, "What do you think about the housing market outside the U.S.?" The U.S. I have no idea. Well, in my opinion, it the virus didn't. This pandemic was worldwide. Every housing market in the world is going to be affected because millions of people are out of work. It really doesn't matter what country you live in. This was worldwide. Millions of people were out of work. Millions in every form of currency. And I keep saying this to people, and this is my opinion. I'm gonna repeat this again, okay? It wasn't the purpose was the aftershocks of the pandemic, not the pandemic itself. Because the virus shut down businesses due to the virus, and now they're opening back up without any change of it. Now again, I'm not shocked at that part, like, oh my God, how come? No, what would the majority do? If you opened up restaurants, bowling alleys, hair salons, what would the majority do? They would go back as if nothing ever happened. Okay, that's what I believe. Okay, that's it. You can't go up to a person in debt and say, "Hey man, you shouldn't be going back to work." They're going to turn to you and say, "Hey, I got to feed my family and I got to take care of this and that." And then you can't turn to them and say, "Well, you can't do that if you're dead. What if you die?" Then how are you going to take care of your family? You can't say that to them. But see, even me saying that is not the point. It doesn't matter what they would or would not do. What would the majority do? That's it. Cosmic Wisdom says, I'm good on the house for now. Got a house in the pipeline now. Total cost will be around 65, 18K purchase. And we'll get $1,000 a month when ready for rent. I'll take my time. It won't have a mortgage. See what I'm saying? And even with, and Cosmic, even with you, having a mortgage is different than what I just don't say that. You know what I'm saying when I say that to you. If you had a mortgage, I know why you have a mortgage and which side that mortgage would be on, because hence renting it out. See what I'm saying? But you can't tell somebody in debt that, oh, you said don't get a mortgage, but you Cosmic Wisdom says she had a mortgage. No, I don't feel like explaining that to you. Dave Bourne says, read the comment section for the videos. Most people will not give up their expensive car, even though they have a hard time getting food. What would the majority do? That's all you got to say to yourself. It doesn't shock me that they don't want to give up their cars. You know why? Because they think the cars are theirs. You can't go up to a person in debt and say, hey, you know, if you own something, there's nobody in the world that can take it from you. You do know that, right? You can't say things like that. If I had enough money, I would invest in a repo business right now, a repossession business, a car repossession business right now. Sure would. I mean, I wouldn't have the patience personally to do the actual repossession because, hey man, people are crazy, especially when they ain't got no money. That's a whole different environment out there. You, as a tow truck, a repossessing person, man, I wish you good luck, because right now, people ain't got no jobs. They can't even pay their car note, and then they, if you take away their car, they won't even have a car to get to a job. Ooh, good luck with that, man. That's some dangerous stuff right there. Dangerous. You know, and I know it's not their car, but people in debt don't look at it that way. They believe it's theirs. Gabriel says there's going to be less income for people and more debt for people. Exactly. And that's how it must be, Gabriel. That was, put it this way, Gabriel, that was the purpose all along, in my opinion. There was no way. You know how many years it would have taken a business to restructure themselves to become like Amazon, to become like Uber, to become like Airbnb. Do you know how long that would take a company to restructure themselves in doing that? That would take years. That whole process got accelerated in months. Plus the big tax breaks, the recent 2018 restructure, 2018, 19, no, it was 18, restructuring of the tax system favoring big economic corporations. The taxes are already in their favor. Now this pandemic comes and they can put people home at 1099. They don't even have to have legal employees on the books anymore. Less responsibility of somebody slipping and falling and hurting themselves and all that stuff. You guys got to remember, all that risk is now being removed. You're at home, you use your own electricity, you use your own internet, eat your own food. This you guys really don't even understand how this accelerated big corporations like 10, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them that putting employees home is a way. Pretty much all of them can do it now. Cosmic says some people, Gabriel, some will have more money after this as well. Oh yeah. Hey, Cosmic, you're right. Yeah, Gabriel, I want to make sure you understand something. There are very few that are making a lot of money right now. It's just a few of them. Now, if I already knew the knowledge I had today, Gabriel, and I already knew this for years, I would have been most definitely ready for this one. Most definitely. Thank you, Cosmic. Join the Discord to be eligible on the free consult. Thank you. Dave Bourne says, a friend called me about a payday loan company harassing him for money he owed. He never told me about it, but I just thought about this program and sent him the link to the payday loan video. Yeah, thank you for doing that. I'm not even knocking people that do payday loans. You go get a payday loan, you really don't know. You really don't trust mathematics when you do that. And I remember when I was young, I went to a couple of payday loan places. I did. I remember doing that. I sure do. And they get you caught up. It's so crazy because when you're in debt, you think, I thought if I went to different payday loan places, since they were different names, that they were separate. No, they're all working together. It doesn't matter which one you go. You are the same person. Only people in debt go to payday loan places. Only people in debt. When you understand money, you wouldn't even drive in the parking lot of a payday loan place, let alone go inside and sign your name on a piece of paper, getting some money from them. You would never do that. Cosmic Wisdom says, no, an 18-year-old killing it on Etsy. Oh, okay, gotcha. She is selling masks. She's making $1K a week. People out here making, you know what's so crazy? And you know what's so crazy, Cosmic? My woman and I got an idea on Etsy. We got an idea. I ain't gonna really say anything yet until I see it happening. But when it starts to happen, yeah, making a killing. There's a lot. I wasn't even hip to Etsy until I looked at it like this week. I was like, damn. People selling stuff like that at that price? Yes. Dave Bourne says, he called me back even more upset and blew up on me. I didn't get mad because I knew where it was coming from. Yeah. Hey, Dave, let me tell you something. That was good. Your response was amazing. Long as you know, because you know when you're not in debt, you know where that anger is coming from. It's not you. It's them. It's the pressure of debt getting to them. And if they're at a payday loan place, they have no idea how to get out because they don't know. They don't realize that payday loan place is putting them deeper in misery. Pedro says, some people are receiving $1,200 weekly from unemployment and still doing Instacart. I'm not sure what is Instacart. I'm not sure what that is. Debt makes people take risky decisions, even if it means death. Yes, they do. They don't know. The majority of people in debt, they don't know they're risking their life because of debt. You know, it's very difficult to explain this kind of theory to people in debt. Like if I went up to somebody and say, hey man, if you had $1 million in the bank, would you take the risk of coronavirus, working? They would come back and say, well, of course not, because I'm a millionaire and I don't have to do that. And then it's like, damn, I messed up. Okay, let me do another example. If you had 10, you always got to say a number to them that's more realistic. So say like this, say like you had a year's worth of your rent paid and your car note paid. You got to throw it all in there. Okay. Don't throw a number. Just say if a year's worth was paid inside of your account to pay all your bills, would you go back to work? They would probably say, no, I wouldn't. Then you would show them. Why wouldn't you? Then you would ask them, why wouldn't you? Oh man, because the virus, man, I wouldn't have to put my kids at risk and this and that and this and that. But since you're in debt, it's okay to expose yourself and your family because you got to say, I mean, I'm not knocking if they want to do that, you can do that. I'm just saying in reality, what it is. That's how you got to explain it to them. Cosmo says she makes the mask in her parents' house and has the UPS pick it up via online delivery. She is going to Be a beast 10 years at this rate. Damn, that is crazy. See how people are discovering new ways to it's not really that hard. It's not really that hard. All you got to do is look outside your box. You have to get outside. Now I understand when they say look outside the box. The box is you. Okay? When somebody used to tell me that, hey man, look outside the box, I thought they were talking about something that I couldn't see. Look outside no, the box is you. Look outside yourself. All you have to do is say, first you got to find your passion, and then say to yourself, what would the majority do? What are the majority doing? Do the majority believe in credit? Yeah, you don't. Trust math. Let the majority believe in credit. You trust in math. See the words I'm switching? Words are very important when it comes to finance. Okay. You must listen to words. Let the majority believe in credit. You trust mathematics, because mathematics is not a belief. It's an exact science, a proven exact science. Okay. Dave Bourne says NYC is planning on switching to letting half of those who work for the city to work from home once the city opens back up. They only need half the staff. People in debt really think it's going to go back to normal, whatever that normal was, whatever that is, whatever they believe the normal was. I had this one guy on Instagram. He's following me, right? He follows me a lot, and sometimes he asks me questions, right? So he tags me on Instagram inside of this group of some chick, some young girl buying a house, right? And he was listening. I mean, he's been following me and stuff like that. And he had said some things in the room. Hey, you know, you're not really a homeowner. If you got a mortgage, you're really a loan owner. They got all over him. Who are you? A hater? You don't know anything. You're just jealous. At least she's not throwing away money on rent. And then he tags me in it. And then I came in there. I said, what did I tell you? And I'm writing this out because you got to remember, people in debt really don't understand what I'm writing, right? It's not almost like I am talking only to him and others that understand probably inside the comments. But I said, what did I tell you? They cannot hear you. I said, look at the comments. Look at everything they're saying about you. Does that sound like they hear you? They don't hear you. And he starts laughing. He's like, man, I see that now. I said, see, it doesn't matter what you say. And nobody responded to what I was saying. You know why? Especially in that comment, nobody really responded to what I was saying. You know why? Because they didn't understand why I was saying what I was saying. Nobody got in there and said, who are you? You don't know anything, because it's nothing that they can understand to respond to. Gabriel says Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg earned about $46 billion in 2 months. Congratulations to both of them. Congratulations. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg are one of the 2 luckiest MFers to be in the perfect position during a pandemic. Nobody can work or go anywhere. They have to order Amazon. Since nobody ain't got nothing to do, where they at? Facebook. Congratulations to them both. Almost jealous. With Instacart, you have to buy food at the grocery store and deliver it to the customer. Oh, wow. Delivery businesses are about to kill the game too. Dave Bourne says the NYC mayor wants to reduce the cost of paying for and maintaining physical buildings to house city workers. The NYC mayor wants to reduce to cost of paying for and maintaining physical buildings to house its city workers. Not sure what that means. Gabriel, you may not want to talk to that 18-year-old while she's still single. Oh, you guys must be back there doing something. Excuse me. You guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Please don't, if you feel something, please don't forget to hit that super chat. Appreciate it. There's my Cash App, SavingsMinusDebt. Be on the lookout for my new joined room. It's going to be members only, with more detailed explanations and visuals to explain to you better how all this works. But, you know, no more giving it away for free. Give it to people that that want to know it and want to grow and become millionaires, billionaires, wealthy, whatever you want to be. Is totally up to you. I'll show you how to do it. Show you exactly which way to go mathematically. And then once you understand how it works, you'll take off and you'll know exactly which way to go. I mean, I don't know your direction of your passion. I'm just gonna guide you how to get there. And then once I put you there, you're gonna be like, oh crap, I just take that way. Yeah, just go that way. Okay. SavingsMinusDebt.com is my website if you need a service. If you need a free 30-minute consultation, because I do like talking to people first. That way I can get an idea where you're at financially and if my service can help you, and vice versa. Maybe you want to hear how I do it. I mean, if you're calling me or reaching out to me, you kind of already know my style. But for you, if you're new, I want you to understand something. You don't have to prepare yourself to talk to me. We just get on the phone and you just tell me your current financial situation. And at that point, I'll know exactly what to do. I promise you. I'll know exactly what to do. I'll know exactly what to tell you to do. I'll know exactly who to tell you to go see. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free. This is Q&A Sunday. And we normally go a long time, but if there's no questions, we're going to do it off in about, go ahead and cut it off at about, it's 1:21 right now. We're going to cut off in 9 minutes. If there's no more questions, make it an hour and a half. Because I got to get out and do some walking today, get out of this house, figure out the next move, think about what's going on. That's all you got to do. You youngsters, man, I'm telling you, man, the younger you are, I don't even want to say lucky. I just want to say, I wish somebody would have told me what I'm telling you guys right now. I wish somebody would have told me back when I was your age. I would have, if I knew what I knew today, man, I would have saved myself from 90% of the bad relationships, 90% of the wrong people in my life. It's like when I was in debt, and I used to hear this term, hey, tell me 5 of your friends and you'll tell me you, right? I used to always hear that. And I used to think, you go, oh, I like my friends, or my friends are cool. You just think about these personalities, and I get that part. That's just a piece though, right? But when it comes to financially, it's true. It's definitely true. Because when you get out of debt, you don't really hang around people in debt, because people in debt talk a certain way. They do certain things. And as a debt-free person, it's really difficult to be around that. And as far as a young man dating, I know I'm 50 now. So let me tell you guys, you young men, okay? When you're young, your friends will make you believe it's all about sex and having sex with as many women as you feel like it makes you a player and all this other stuff. And, and then you fall susceptible to that because the majority are doing it. And if you're getting caught up in that, like right now, you're a young man, you think about that, you stop and ask yourself and say, is that the majority? Because you got to remember, nothing is 100%. Okay. But then you got to think to yourself, are the majority of men my age doing it? Yes, do the opposite. Because the opposite is true, because it's not 100% of the people. That means there's a percentage. The majority doesn't mean 100%. It means the majority of a certain percent. Be the other percent. Because I promise you this, when you get out of debt, you will never, especially as a young man, you will not let sex control this part of you. I promise you. Because you will never get serious with a woman that's in debt. You will never consider, like, you'll meet this woman, oh, she's great, she's this and that, and then you find out she has $100,000 worth of student loan debt and has no plans on paying it off. You're not gonna marry that person. I promise you. I don't care how good the sex is. You won't even get serious with a person like that, because you already know people in debt speak a certain way. So like, you met a woman and she got a finance car, a finance phone, she got finance clothes, and she's a lawyer and she's fine, but she's got $200,000 worth of student loan debt, and she has a $300,000 mortgage payment. You're not gonna get involved with that. I promise you. You're not. You're gonna be like, as soon as you start dating, she's gonna tell you that she's in debt. Everybody in debt tells you. You're gonna go out on a date. They're gonna take a work phone call. Excuse me, I got to take this. It's work. Oh yeah, only slaves do that. Take work phone calls for free after hours. That means it's for free. Only slaves do that, but they don't know that. Oh my God, work is this and that and stressing me out. Damn, you letting work become bad for your health? Only slaves do that. Especially when you got to remember, people in debt, they say these things out loud. Oh man, work is stressing me out. Do you know what that does to you? Because you're saying it. Herbert Walker says, LJ, get your 10,000 steps in the day. I am. I'm going out mainly out. And I hope I just get the 10,000 plus, but I'm just going out to get in the sun, man. Getting out of here. Herbert Walker says, LJ experience is the best teacher. I have no regrets. Excited about the new life. I have no regrets either. You know, I found my purpose. So I really, really have no regrets. I really don't, because I'm helping a lot of people. The ones I know and the ones I don't know. I'm sure I'm helping more people that I don't know more than the ones I know. Randy says, how's the crowd at Myrtle Beach today? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out today. I'm gonna drive through there. I'm not gonna get out and walk though, I know that. Pedro says, I'm learning about the power of leverage and borrowing other people's money to grow your business. Did you ask a question back there? Hope I didn't skip a question. Business people money to grow your business by using business credit. No, not your personal one. I see why business people do it. Of course, once you master the business of yourself, Pedro, the business of you, which is your personal finances, you will understand the true purpose of getting loans for business, right? And that's not even hard either, Pedro. Like, when it's time for you to go to get a business, whatever your business is, and you need a loan, there's a lot of tax purposes in it, but I'm gonna skip over that. I'll make this simple. When you go get a business loan for whatever business that you're trying to go for, you search for the absolute best rate business loan in your city, state, the country. I don't care, the United States of America. Whatever loan is the best business loan for the business that you're trying to get, that's the only business that's the only business loan you accept. That's the only one. Anything less than the best business loan offered in the United States, the day you're trying to get it, you're settling. If you can't get the absolute best, you're not ready to get a business loan. You don't go to the bank and hope they give you one of them. You only go to the bank and accept the best one. They offer you a loan and say, hey, you've been approved. You say, is this the best loan that you guys offer? If they say no, you say no, then I don't want that one. I want the best one. What are the requirements they're going to give you? You didn't get this one because of this requirements, right? And then if you don't meet the requirements, you don't leave, you leave and don't come back until you do meet the requirements. Amina says, how do you get business credit? That's more of a question for Cosmic. I don't know how to do it. Jared says, my friends only cared about women instead of positioning themselves financially. Now they are stuck with mediocre jobs. And it's like that when you're young. Don't get me wrong. When you're a young man, put it this way. When I was a young man, of course, I got caught up all that too, right? But I remember used to think to myself, I wasn't really like other dudes that were just after it, hungry like that, always just, oh man, you know what, we can't, this is what dudes say, oh man, we can't just settle for one, we got to have multiple, man, but I love her, but that's just sex and blah, blah. No, there's none of that. That's only for people who believe it's that way. It's not that way. It's whatever you choose it to be. It doesn't matter what they say. Oh man, you should have did this and that with my body part. You think I should have did something with my body part. That's when you hear guys say that, that's how you say it back to them. You think I should have did something you wanted with my own body part, right? You get caught up, marry the wrong person. Two, it's like they always say, hey, yeah, man, over 50% of divorces end because of money. No, it's not. It's because of debt. Two people in debt get married and two people that are in debt, they get married. They don't know nothing about debt. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to accumulate even more debt together because now they're saying, oh, we got two incomes. They just go deeper in debt together and then wonder why they got a divorce. It wasn't because of money. It's because of debt. Unit Q says, LJ, who is your health insurance through? Do you pay monthly or yearly? Who is my health insurance through? I don't think I have any. You know what? That's a good question. I don't have any health insurance here in South Carolina. I don't have any. I have no health insurance here in South Carolina. Tony Davis says, be careful on Ocean Boulevard. I heard that they had a couple of shootings. I heard about that. I did. I heard about that. People are just happy to get out. Herbert Walker says, Jared J, exactly. Building wealth gives you options. Yes, gives you options. Darkman Jeff says, it's crazy in Charleston. I live 5 minutes away from the beach and everyone is making a beeline to it. Everybody's on their boats and enjoying the sun. Going out on your boat is cool. It's cool. Going out on your boat is cool. You're not really up, but if you're stacked inside of the boat, I guess. I mean, and again, what everybody's doing, all I do now is say, what would the majority do? It's like this. Those that understand money, this is what all they're saying. What would the majority do if you let them? And this pandemic is an obvious, it's obvious. You would swear, like if you look at these cities right now, you would swear there's not even a pandemic, like we're not in one. Even with all the masks, the plexiglass everywhere between people and red cash registers, people think it's back to normal. You know why? Because that's what the majority would do. Never again will I doubt the majority. Never again. I will never doubt them ever again. Hey, Linnell, do you think the gyms are going to go back to normal? Yes. How do I know this? They've been begging for it on social media. They've been begging for the gyms to be open. At first, I was thinking, oh, the gyms are done. All them germs, people don't wipe down the benches no more. Everybody knows this at the gym. People don't wipe down stuff, right? That always happens, right? So I I assumed that people would look at that and say, oh, hell no, man, that could be this and that and blah, blah, blah. Nope, I was wrong. That's what the majority want. They want the gyms open. They want the gyms open. People want the restaurants open. When I drive down to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive down to the boulevard today, down the beach, and I'm going to record it for you guys. And then I'm going to upload it, okay? That's a good idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record. I'm going to go down to the beach today. I'm going to have me and my girlfriend record as we drive up and down the strip. And then I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to show you guys everything that's crowded. I'm going to show you guys, especially this Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to show you guys so you can see what the majority will do. Not even a worldwide killer virus changes the thought patterns of the majority. If that's not the most obvious thing to ever see, it's like watching a movie. You see the crowds, you see people financing cars, going to restaurants, buying houses in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, as if it never happened. Now, like I said, I know the purpose of this pandemic wasn't the pandemic itself. It was the aftershocks that are going to be going on for 50 years. The part I cannot see right now is what happens when the stimulus money dries up. That's the only part I can't see. I've been trying to rack my brain to make it make mathematical sense. I just cannot see where that piece is going to come in. Where is that going? I know the purpose, but right now and the reason why I say this piece, because what happens when the money runs out? There's no jobs for people to go to. So what happens when the money runs out? I already know the long-term effects of it. Okay, that's clear. I can see what's happening. New economy. All right, I see that. I see that. But what's happening now? I have two guesses. I only have two. Second wave of coronavirus or a second amount of stimulus money. Because and the reason why I say this, you got to remember, millions are out of work. Millions are out of work. No jobs to go to. 50% capacity in buildings and places. That means 50% less workers at 20% pay. And unemployment money is gone, stops. All that extra unemployment money, extra food stamps, all that stuff stops. When the interest of the interest and the temporary interest of student loan payments and the interest on the student loans, that temporary stop is lifted, then what? Then what? That's the part I can't figure out. Then what? That's the only two options I see. What would the majority do? This is what I'm thinking. They're gonna go back, act as if anything normals. Okay, so once they go back into acting as if everything, because you got to remember, you got to also remember, they're going back to normal, spending money as if they got it. Right? You see, don't worry about the crowds and the spreading of the virus. That's the virus part. Look at it financially. They're spending money that doesn't even exist because they have no jobs. It's like, what the hell are you doing at a restaurant? What the hell are you doing on a car lot? You're booking cruise ship tickets? You see what I'm saying? At some point, and this is what a lot of people don't see. That's got to be borrowed money. Everybody you see in these restaurants, they're using credit cards. They're using their HELOC money. They refinanced their home, and so they're using that money to pretend as if they have money. And then once the bank cuts that off, then what? Then what? Darkman Jeff says, got a new slogan for the SMD folks. WWLD. What would Linnell do? WWLD. I like that. That's funny. Let me take a screenshot of that. That's funny right there. I like that. WW sound like a wrestling name or something. Pedro says, after the second wave of the stimulus money, people will have to work regardless of the situation. If they bring around a second wave of the stimulus money, it will prolong the inevitable, but it will give businesses time to recover. Okay, so that this would make sense to me with a second round, right? It would right now, because if they don't give a second round of stimulus money, right, there will be no money for people to spend with businesses. You see what I'm saying? So businesses that are opening back up, it really don't matter, because if once people in debt don't realize it's not their money that they're spending, but sooner or later with no jobs, they're going to realize they have no money. As soon as they start to realize that they're running out of money, they're going to cut back on going out, going places, doing all this other stuff that they believe is normal. They're going to have to stop. And then if they stop, that means businesses make no money, and they're already at 50% capacity, and and they stop making money at 50% capacity with their workers making 20% less. There's got to be either a second wave of stimulus or a second wave of coronavirus. Those are the only two options I see. And again, I just say, what would the majority do? The majority want normal to come back so bad, they're going to pretend their hardest that it's normal by spending the money the way they used. Listen, they're going to spend the money the way they used to before the pandemic. That, can you imagine how many people that extra unemployment money is blinding? It's blinding millions of people. Herbert Walker says, no second wave coming. I don't know, man. I you know what? I favor what you're saying, Herbert, because what I see is that the pandemic did a worldwide financial reset. All right. Only a pandemic can reset the world economy. Only a pandemic. This is clear. This is crystal clear to me. A second wave wouldn't be financially beneficial. It just wouldn't. I don't see any upside of a second wave. That just wouldn't. I believe this first pandemic it was the key to starting the economy of the engine of the new economy, and it's achieved. That engine has started. It's going. But in order for this to all work and benefit those who know financially, it must be a second round of stimulus money. It has to be. And if they do what they say they're going to do with this second proposal from when I read the Heroes Act, and they do it for a year, that amount of money and stimulus money would keep the people in debt, the majority, keep them spending as if nothing's going wrong. So this is how I look at it. I'm outside looking in. If they do that second round of stimulus money, that amount of money will mask what's really going on to the majority. They will not have a clue of what's being built around them. They will not have a clue. You just keep them distracted with 5G, corona theories, aliens, killer bees, racial stuff, Democrats, Republicans. Just keep them busy with that stuff. As long as you give them money too on top of that, they'll stay busy. They'll continue to spend the money, which is stimulus, hence stimulus, spend the money at restaurants, which is good for business. Don't get me wrong. If you're a business owner, and that second wave of stimulus money comes in, this is the time for you to open a business. Okay. Especially if it goes as long as a year, because these people in debt, they're making more money than the majority of them are making more money than they ever have at their regular jobs with this extra unemployment money. Can you imagine if that goes on for a year? And if they go on for a year would give businesses time to adjust to the new economy. All right. This is a change. Big businesses have to adjust. They have to. Even me included. I had to. I had to take down the prices that I had for my service. Nobody could afford those prices, regardless if they want to see me back or not. Right. This will give businesses a chance. For a year will give them just enough time to adjust. Okay, this is what I got to do. All right, I got to change that. We got to get some apps going. We got to get a new POS system. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay, cool. We're good. Right? I see all upside. And also the stimulus money would prevent crime. Okay? Because I know people they don't you can't have millions of people breaking laws. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're starving, you're not really going to give a fuck about a law to eat. Okay. If you got a family at home, kids are not getting any food, your values start to change. We can't have that. That can't happen. That can't happen. That would be detrimental to the financial system. It would be detrimental. It would be cheaper to send out a second stimulus package, because when people hear numbers like 2 trillion, 3 trillion, all that stuff, but if you're getting back 30 trillion in taxes, 2 trillion is not a bad investment. If you're getting back, and this is my opinion, I'm just making up these numbers, but if you're getting 30 trillion back over decades of the economy and taxes, $2 trillion is nothing. But you also got to remember, money doesn't even exist for people in debt. So you can throw out any high number that they will never see in their lives and they'll believe it. Of course, a person in debt believes $1 million is a lot of money because they're in debt. You could go out and ask somebody, hey, would you like to be a millionaire? They would say, hell yeah, I would love. Then you turn around and ask them, do you know how much debt you're in? They'll say no. That's how you'll know that they're in debt. That's why they think $1 million is a lot of money, because they're in debt and they don't even know how much debt they're in. Randy says the elections this year will be quite interesting for sure. Dave Bourne says the government is in between a rock and a hard place. Not really. All they got to do is just send out some stimulus money. That'll solve everything. The smart move, honestly, from what I see, the smart move would be to send out a second round of stimulus money for a year. For a year, I mean, that would give them businesses a year to adjust. This is brand new for everybody. Gabriel says people said COVID-19 was a hoax, and then it happened, and they Say a second wave won't happen. Let's see. Like I said, I'm agreeing with, in my opinion, I'm agreeing with Herbert because it doesn't seem like a second wave would not be financially beneficial to the economy. It just wouldn't. It started. It did what it needed to do because only a pandemic could reset the world economy. Herbert Walker says restaurants are going to continue to take a major hit. It's going to take a decade for the economy to recover from this pandemic. There is no recovery. It's just new. Okay. People use words like recovery, and man, it's going to take this time to recover. No, it's a brand new. You got to adjust. The word is adjust. It's not even recover. It's adjust. The old way, the way things were done, the old way it's done. The people that will continue to go down in debt will be the people that wish the old way would continue when it no longer exists. Pedro says people will stay on unemployment until next year. Yes, they will. You got to remember, at 50% capacity. Now let's put it this way. No, I don't want to go past. I don't want to go too far because I got to see where this money's going. This has got. I'm not looking past the summer, right? I'm not really even looking into 2021. When I talk about 2021, 22, that's just the aftershocks of the pandemic. Okay, there will be a housing market crash. There will be a fire sale on cars because millions of people are not paying their car notes, mortgage. That is already in place. That's going to happen. Nothing's going to stop that, regardless of a second wave or a second round of stimulus money, whatever. That is happening. Nothing's going to stop that. The piece I'm talking about is the crime. If millions go homeless and millions have no jobs to even replace their income, crime is going to happen. If there's not a second, in my opinion, if there's not a second round of stimulus money, I wouldn't be driving around a Ferrari. I wouldn't be driving around in an expensive Mercedes. I wouldn't be walking around thinking nothing's affecting me and I got all this gold and stuff. I would never do that. Not in a pandemic. No, sir. Wouldn't do that. Pedro says, when families have no food and there's no money, our animalistic instincts take over. They sure do. You better believe it. Many people ain't gonna say it, but if you get down to it, I mean, like no money, things change. And I'm not saying everybody's going to go to crime and start hurting people. I'm just saying you don't know what you're going to do if you've never been put in that situation. I have. 2008, man, I lost everything. And even with everything being lost, I still had $40,000 in student loan debt hanging over my head. Sure did. I went from making $85,000 a year to my car payment every week. I had to adjust. I survived. I made it. I was so on such an animalistic drive. I even convinced a person to hire me for a job that I wasn't even qualified to have. That's how desperate I was. I didn't even last but 3 months. After about 3 months, because I only needed 3 months to get through something so I can get out of the area I was in, right? They fired me after 3 months because they figured out I didn't know what I was doing. It didn't matter. I had to get that money, earn that money to get out to do the next thing I needed to do, and that's what I did. As soon as hey, Linnell, we got to call you in the office. Call me in the office. I already knew. Hey, man, things are not working out. I say, cool. Here you go. Here's the keys. See ya. Herbert Walker says some people will never fly again. The airlines will continue to take a hit for sure. Maybe airlines will bring the cost of airline tickets down to what they really cost. Who knows? I don't know have you ever taken the time to see what an airline ticket really costs? I haven't. We just assumed that it cost $1,000, $800, $500 a ticket. We just accepted that. Why? Because that's what the market demands. The value of anything is up to you, not to them. It's up to you. Dave Bourne says, in a year, businesses will have time to restructure themselves with a second stimulus. Plus, it will keep people complacent. Exactly. That's exactly right, Dave. That's my prediction. Okay. I'm not looking past, as far as people go, I don't look past the summer yet. Okay. But as far as business goes, housing market crash, it's coming. Cars. If you have money right now and you've been out of debt for years, it's about to be Christmas for you for at least for the next 5 years straight. At least 5 years. Totally agree with you, Dave. Totally agree with you. And I'm agreeing with Herbert too. I don't think second wave would not be beneficial for anybody, rich or broke. Not even close. Herbert Walker says, our lives have officially changed. People just don't know it. They have changed, Herbert. For us, it's a benefit. It's a scare. Put it this way, Herbert. So you guys understand in this room. Don't think LJ's just walking around here all lottie-dottie, not a fear or care in the world. Oh no. No. I know it's there. I don't pretend that my fear is not there. I don't say, oh, that doesn't exist. I'm looking right at it. I see it. I let my fear know that I see it sitting there. I don't turn my back and say, oh, it's not there. It's not there. My fear knows I'm looking at it. What people don't understand is this too. I don't look at fear. Now you can't help it. If you let your feelings take over, fear will look like fear. That's the best way I can describe fear. With its own name, right? But what fear really is, it's saying, hey, look at me, come this way. There's something on the other side of me that you need to see. But first you must go through me. Because you notice when you ignore something that you need to take care of your life out of fear, it's always there. It never goes away. It's there when you wake up. It's there when you go to sleep. It's there when you're driving your car. It's there when you're at work. It's there. It's there when you're watching a movie. It's there. It's not going anywhere because there's something that you need to see on the other side of that fear. So my fear is this, and I'm going to be just straight up with you guys. My fear is having to go back to work. My fear is to having to get a job. That scares the shit out of me. Being straight up with you guys, my fear is having to get a job. Having to fill out an application. Yes, I do that. No, I haven't done that. Oh, I have this skill. No, I do that. Yeah, sure, you can take a drug test. All right. Okay, be here and sign up for it, sign on the dotted line and agree to all the terms for this set salary for 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, weekends off, maybe. See, that kind of stuff, man. That scares the living shit out of me. Herbert Walker. Now, don't get me wrong. If I get okay, put it this way. If I get a job doing what I love, that's different. Okay. So if the central bank called me and said, hey, LJ, we want you, I'll be happy. I'll be on the first boat steaming to the central bank. I would be there for sure. Okay. If Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax called me and said, hey, LJ, we want you on our team, I'll say, hell yeah, let's go. If the big banks call me, one of the big banks say, hey, LJ, we know that you know, and we want you to work for us, I'll say, hell yes, I will work for you. You better believe it. Teach me everything else I can't see, because I know you guys got the biggest biggest pieces to the puzzle. Darkman Jeff says, I propose that LJ and Herbert start a regular show on this channel called OG Talk. Oh, that would be cool. We did flow, though. I ain't gonna lie, Herbert. We did flow. That was a good idea. I like that. A lot of wisdom between you two. I think I'll talk to Herbert about that. See what's up. I'm gonna see what's up. That's a good idea. I like that. Herbert says, I'm telling everyone to get healthy and exercise daily. The virus is not going anywhere. Yeah. Herbert says, the economy will be open by July 4th. You know what, Herbert? Again, you say July 4th, right? What would the majority do? They would happily open on July 4th. Then 4th. Yes. I 100% believe you, Herbert, because that's exactly what the majority want, and that's what they will do. Pedro says people are already getting used to making 70% of their food at home. It's looking bad for restaurants out there. I wouldn't worry about that too much. The majority of people are just doing that because they have to, right? You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some are learning some skill sets, but the majority are just doing it because they have to do it, right? Because believe you me, I'm sure the majority are saying, hey, man, when things get back to normal, I'm done with this cooking crap. You know what I'm saying? So Randy says 2020 has definitely been the year of the reset. Oh, yeah, this is most definitely. This is the unwritten law or whatever you want to call it. This is the official reset of the world economy. That's exactly what this is. Official reset. World economy too. World economy. Write that down. Gabriel says, do you fear of going back to work or just fear? Do you fear going back to work or just fear? Work would feel like prison to me right now. Knowing that I accepted a payment on something that's invaluable. My time, the time in my life is only worth what I settle for. So even if I got a job and they paid me $100, now don't get me wrong, okay? I'm going to do what I have to do to survive, okay? Regardless of how I feel about a job, fear is a feeling, okay? And I want you guys to understand something. I know the difference between fear. I know fear is not me. It's a feeling. How I feel about getting a job is irrelevant from having to get a job. It doesn't make me feel like I'm a failure or anything like that. I want you guys to understand something. When you start a business, don't listen to people that don't know. Because if you start a business and you have to end up going back to work, the people around you are going to be like, oh man, you obviously failed because you have a job. Don't listen to people that have done nothing. Anybody you get that kind of ridicule from, you think to yourself, have they had a job all their life? Yeah. Are they in debt? Yeah. Then don't listen to them. They have no idea what they're saying. None. And you can't get mad at them. Don't get mad at them. Understand that they don't know what they're saying. Their feelings about what you do is their feelings. They can feel any way they want to feel. That's irrelevant to you. Randy says, since travel is down, I wonder if Greyhound and Amtrak will file Chapter 11 or push a stimulus package. And also, I want you guys to understand something too in the room. When you hear big businesses filing for Chapter whatever bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, don't think they failed. Okay, don't jump on the bandwagon and spread it across everywhere. Oh my God, look, they're going out of business. Some are going out of business, and some are using this time to restructure. Filing bankruptcy can be financially beneficial. It's no different than somebody right now that's in debt, and it would take them 10 years or longer to get out of debt. Filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy would save you. If you added up all your debt, right now, and you see that it will take you more than 10 years to pay it off, file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, not Chapter 13, Chapter 7. Herbert Walker says, one reason why I'm relocating is to reduce my expenses so I don't have to work. That's what you do. South Carolina and Seattle, totally different expense ratio. Totally different. Totally different. Herbert Walker says, I saved $50 last night by cooking Mexican food at home. It reminded me of my life back in the 70s. I'm not going back to restaurants. Now, there's one restaurant I have to keep going to. It's Captain George, a seafood restaurant. That's my woman's favorite. But we never, besides that, that's a once a month thing. Okay, that's not all the time. But me and my girlfriend have been living like this for a long time. 5, 6, no, we've been together 3 years. Okay, 3 years together. I'm saying myself as, but I was throwing myself in there. But this is not really a big change for me. The only thing I'm working on, and I'm using it as fire, okay? Because you gotta, when you get low on money, you can either you have an option. You can either go crime, you will go the illegal way, or you can use that as fire to think outside the box of you, the way you've been living, the way you ever thought of about money. You can change that right now. You can use this as fire. You're getting yourself, your money's getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. Instead of going into a panic, you can say, okay, what can I do now that can prevent this from ever happening in my life again? You can choose to do that. Because the fear of losing everything, the fear of being broke, that fear is trying to tell you something. You can either be scared of it or you can learn from it. And I promise you, if you learn from it, there's always something beneficial to you on the other side of the fear. Because I remember, let me give you an example. Before I quit my job, that was a huge fear to quit my job. That was huge. Quit my job making $160,000 a year. Quit it. I told a couple of friends that I was going to do it. They thought I was crazy. You know why? Because they were in debt. Man, I'm thinking about quitting this job and going on my own. What are you going to do, man? What you going to do to make up that amount of money? So you can, because you got to remember, people in debt have a certain type of lifestyle. They don't want to sacrifice their lifestyle to get out of debt. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. That's their fear, right? I didn't want to explain that to people that, hey man, that's the sacrifice. If you ever want to get out of debt, you have to reduce the lifestyle that got you into debt in the first place. But not many will do that. Most will never ever do that because of that fear of losing everything they don't own. They don't even know they don't own it. So the thought of actually quitting a high paying job is not even in their atmosphere of their brain. And I did it. Had I not done that, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. None of you would know who LJ is. You would never even had heard of me. Those of you that have learned from me, you wouldn't even have the knowledge you have today. I'm not saying that it will never came to you. I'm just saying that even though, think about it, what you have today is because I overcame fear of quitting a job. The only way I came over that fear is by becoming debt free. By getting out of debt, it showed me the purpose of why I needed a job. Herbert Walker says, I was eating out 4 times a week before the virus hit. I was also obese. Wow, that is a lot, Herbert. But don't feel bad about it, because millions of people do it, and it's worse. You can't even imagine. You can't even imagine the obesity rate that is about to go through the roof. You guys hear what I'm saying? The obesity rate is about to go through it's about to skyrocket through the freaking roof. With the whole economy restructuring, more people are going to be at home as 1099 workers going nowhere. They're not even going to get the exercise of actually having to go to an office. Because you got to remember, a lot of people, the majority of people who work, the only exercise the majority of those people get is by actually physically getting up, getting in their car, getting dressed, going on the subway, transferring buses, walking up the stairs of the building. All that is eliminated. The majority of that is eliminated, not all of it. The majority of that is going to be eliminated. Now, if they don't even get that, and food delivery is the next big business right now. It's booming. Food delivery is here forever. Okay, that's here forever. If you open a restaurant, make it food delivery. Make days dining in special. Make it special. Do the opposite of the majority. Instead of following the rules, say, hey man, open back up. We got to get business going. If you out of debt, make your opening day special. Say, we do this because we care about the people. What you do, I'm not saying you don't. That's reality. And an awesome delivery service. Make you be the Chick-fil-A food delivery service. I mean, not the name itself, but you see, Chick-fil-A. I remember people were bragging to me about Chick-fil-A, and I'm not a fast food person, right? So I go to Chick-fil-A, get me a chicken sandwich. I'm like, damn, this is just a chicken sandwich. What's so big about it? The service. Chick-fil-A's food is not all that. It's just the service is impeccable. For a fast food place, I'm like, damn. That's why I'm paying this price for that Chick-fil-A sandwich, the service. Now you become a food delivery person with a service like Chick-fil-A, oh man. Johnny Blaze says, Herbert, do you own a grill? That's how I cook most of my meals. Steak, pork. Okay, yeah, cool. I'm about to invest in a grill myself. Gabriel says, yeah, I'm cutting junk food. I want to lose weight. Do the opposite of the majority, Gabriel. The majority are eating junk food. Okay. Pedro says, everybody gaining weight right now? Sure are. Do the opposite. Herbert says, SMD family needs to start taking steps to becoming financially independent. Small steps daily adds up to big changes over time. For sure. Herbert Walker says, I now cook 6 times a week and walk 10,000 steps 5 times a week. I'm starting to lose weight. Congratulations. Limit for Life. Good afternoon, LJ and SMD family. LJ, will a digital currency work well in the new economy? I'm glad. That's a good question. That's a good question. And I'm going to give you my opinion on digital currency, okay? First, I want you to understand that money doesn't exist in any form for people who are in debt. They believe, if you listen to them, oh man, digital currency is going to change, then the banks won't have control over it. No, none of that is true. Only people in debt believe that. Okay, the only people in debt. It doesn't. So you understand, if you're new to the channel, so you can understand this. If you're a cryptocurrency person, all right, you think, oh yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Cryptocurrency is the next big thing. I'm gonna give you an example so you can either take it or believe it or just not. It's just totally up to you. But if you have $50,000 in student loan debt and $1,000 in cryptocurrency, right? $1,000 worth in your mind of cryptocurrency. $1,000 of cryptocurrency minus $50,000 in student loan debt is still negative $49,000. So whatever form of currency you have it's really irrelevant. It really doesn't matter. But anyway, well, as far as digital currency, I think it's the way to go because personally, I don't really carry around cash on me, and this Cash App, I would at first I was against Cash App, but Cash App is really turning out to be nice and convenient because I paid for my haircut. I could just say, "Hey, do this. You want cash or Cash App?" And he said, "Cash App." I said, "Cool. Here's Cash App." It's nice. I don't even have to carry money. Or if you want to pay somebody via Cash App, you say how much I owe you. Okay, cool. Let me pay you via Cash App. It's nice. It's a nice, convenient way to pay, and it's fast and it's immediate. Uh, but if you're debt free and you look at cryptocurrency, let's put it this way: when I look at cryptocurrency, I think to myself this way. All right. The majority that are probably investing in cryptocurrency are people in debt because people in debt always want something for nothing, right? And you just get them to believe that it's unregulated and banks can't get control of it and they really don't have no say so. And it's encrypted with this ultra encrypted in currency, this ultra encrypted unbreakable currency, whatever. Somebody made the currency. So whoever made it knows how to break it. Okay. It really doesn't matter. Right. But it's more for sound, right? For people that don't have money to invest with money that they don't have. And they just follow the majority. So say like we're in the middle of a pandemic. Okay. Let me put it this way. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People are looking for ways to make money fast. So during this time, and especially during the stimulus package time, if I had extra money, I would invest in cryptocurrency because the majority of people look at cryptocurrency as like people going to the casino, right? They're going to the casino because they want to get a big payout if they're lucky. Same thing with cryptocurrency. It's no different, right? But as a smart investor, I imagine now, I don't even look at cryptocurrencies or Bitcoins or any of that, right? There's so many. It doesn't even make any sense. There's so many, right? How you gonna ever pick one, right? But anyway, I picture it going up because people are desperate. So if I had money, I would invest in cryptocurrency because I see it going up and up and up. And then right, like say like I invested in with this first stimulus package, I imagine, and now if anybody that watches cryptocurrency, you can tell me if I'm wrong or right now, without even looking at it, I'm assuming that cryptocurrency increased right when the stimulus package happened, right? Now, I could imagine it right now decreasing as the summer comes because there is no money to invest in cryptocurrency. There is no money. And then if the second stimulus package comes in, I see it going up. That's just my opinion. Right? Her work says I also have food saver machine. I'm not sure what that is. But if you guys have any questions, these are great questions. Thank you. And if you're new to the channel and my answers don't make sense to you or you want more explanation, please feel free to ask. You can ask. But if you want an exact path on to be ready for the new economy, SavingsMinusDebt.com. I'll put you on the right path. I promise you. I'll put you on the right path. Herbert Walker says using Cash App requires discipline because it's very convenient to use. Really? I don't know, man. I really don't. I mean, it's nice, but I don't really have a problem, needing discipline to use it. It's just there. It's like the form of money in any form. Once I got out of debt, it doesn't matter the form of which money is in. It doesn't change my habits, right? It doesn't, and it's very different too. For me, Cash App is different for me, right? I do transactions and stuff like that to it, but this is people that donate money on my Cash App, right? It means something different to me than to just waste it. It's like I wouldn't take the money and just blow it on some Jordans. I couldn't do that. Then again, because I wouldn't spend my money on George, so I definitely wouldn't take people. I don't know. It's just the way I am. Period. It's something about earning the trust. My greatest accomplishment right now, thus far, is earning the trust of people. If you come out and try to create a business based solely on money, the longevity of that company, see, because I look for longevity, right? And only trust will bring longevity in your company. And you gotta earn that trust from the beginning, right? You have to. That's what I've had to do. I've had to earn the trust. Like when I first started these lives, man, I was talking to myself for at least a year. Nobody was coming to my channel listening to me. But something said, hey, just keep making the videos, just keep making them, just try different stuff, just keep making them. Soon people will listen and soon people will follow. Because they'll hear your math, they'll hear the math and say, oh man, his math is right. Let me hear what he got to say. Herbert says, LJ, you already have discipline. Most people don't. Yeah, that's true. If you're thinking about starting a business, start with the business of yourself, the business of you. If you start with the business of you, you'll be successful. You'll be able to navigate through all the scams. Right now during pandemic, scams are at an all-time high. I see them all day, all over social media. There's just so many scams in every form, legal, illegal. It doesn't really matter. There's legal scams and there's illegal scams. Okay. So there's still a scam. One you just can't get in trouble for. That's all. It's not really a big deal. It's just business. But when you get out of debt, you'll realize financial scams make no mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. CENTS. Johnny Blaze says, LJ, you have wisdom and critical thinking on your side. Yeah, I do. That's why I got into computers, because it requires computer at the level I was at. It required critical thinking and removal of feelings in situations, right? Like, for example, at tier 3 I used to work for an airline company called Alaska Airlines in Seattle, Washington. I worked there for like 5 or 6 years, right? And I was in a position to where if the system went down, planes didn't fly. Okay. According to the FAA, if your system is not working properly in a certain set amount of minutes, you can't fly no planes, period. Right. Now, in situations like that, you can't panic. You cannot worry about how much money is being lost while this system is down. You can't worry about the people panicking around you. You can't worry about the CEOs they're mad because something went wrong. You got to ignore all of it. You cannot listen to any of it. You have to focus in. Okay, this is my steps when I used to troubleshoot networks, right? DMZs, internet, blah, 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 right? Everything originates from something. So I would just take a step back. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, if that doesn't work, this causes that to don't work. So what's that? Let me check that. Okay, if that doesn't work, that means something else caused that. It's something along the line that made it not work. And then I knew how to pick the right people in those areas, who to call and say, hey man, can you test that? Can you test this area? Can you test that? And then 9 times out of 10, it was something somewhere that something didn't, it could have been a hardware malfunction. Somebody put some code in and didn't test it. It could have been a million things, right? Johnny Blaze says, watch out for multi-level marketing. Oh, that's going rampant right now. Multi-level marketing, rampant. That's it's illegal. Okay, it's illegal. Barely. Multi-level marketing is barely legal. Okay, let's just put it that way. It's barely legal. Now, if you're into multi-level marketing, it's legal. I'm not saying you're a bad person for doing it. All I'm saying is the structure is barely legal. If you get out of, put it this way, if you get out of debt and you decide to do multi-level marketing, you will kill it. But you got to get out of debt first. Get out of debt, decide to go to multi-level marketing business, and you will kill it. But you must get out of debt first. LJ, I'm a CS student, computer science student. I know what you mean. Yeah, I got a computer science degree right now, whatever, right? And I put it this way. Computer IT is the way to go right now. That's most definitely the way to go right now. Most definitely, right? It's most definitely the way to go because the majority of people are going to be working from home. So that means networks have to be on point. They have to be on point. So if you become an expert, and if you're a new IT person, I'm gonna give you some advice because I was an IT person for 20 plus years. Cloud engineer. Specialty was VMware. So those of you that understand computer language, I'm gonna just go into it for a little while so you can understand the level I was at. Okay. What I did was create virtual environments, VMware virtual environments with vCenter. I created not only virtual servers, I created virtual desktops. I placed them into the DMZ so they could be connect globally with the security, the two-factor security that goes with it. So I would put virtual servers, DMZ servers in this security servers in the DMZ that connected to connection brokers on the inside, worldwide, with multiple clusters of 32. Multiple clusters in 32 inside either one virtual centers, or multiple. All talking PCOIP. Didn't matter. Linux servers, Windows servers, desktops, didn't matter. I didn't care. It didn't matter. I just made it happen. All right. What I also did was I made I made virtual desktops for each location where we flew. So these desktops followed the actual agent to whatever desk they went to. They would log in and they would have their desktop. That's what I did. The connection between us and the station, whatever state we went to, we didn't own the networks at the locations. All right. We were responsible for connectivity to those locations. So you can imagine if something went down between the location, their network, or our network at the home base, that was a problem. That's a very big problem, right? That's what I did. Yes. What's up, Power Strategy? Welcome, sir. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Damn, bro, I need to holler at you, get caught up on technology. You know what? You know what, Power Strategy? I loved what I did. If I have to go back to it, I will. But with you guys, again, the thought, I loved it once. I will do it if I have to. But the thought of a company owning the time in my life bothers me. This is I cannot describe to you. It took me a year to break the 40-hour work week addiction. Because when I was caught up in the 40-hour work week addiction, I thought Saturday and Sunday were special days. I thought Friday was a good thing. I couldn't even enjoy my Sunday because I had to go back to work on Monday. So I really just got Saturday. I couldn't really enjoy Sunday because I know whatever I was doing on Sunday, I had to cut it short because I had to get some sleep, and I knew I had to go to work the Monday. It was just totally ruined. So it was really just one day. And then working so many hours during the week, I had a day and a half to really get the things I needed to get done for myself. That bothers me. I don't like that. And I kid you not, once you break the 40-hour work week, good luck. It's a double-edged sword. Pedro says, I'm going to be huge because of the pandemic. Oh, yeah. And this is what I wanted to throw at you, Pedro. Make sure, this is going to sound weird. Whatever system, whatever software you work with, you take 1 hour to read through the directions of that entire system. Read through it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Just because they've been working on it for years, don't assume that they know everything. Read the white papers on the software. I don't care how boring it is. Read it. Nicer says, why IT people grasping the SMD logic more than other professionals? Too many nerds up in here to be a coincidence. Because when you're an engineer, you have to believe in mathematics. We count in ones and zeros. Now, when I came across that, when I was first learning computers, and they're like, hey, man, we're going to teach you how to count in ones and zeros. I was like, what? But now I know how to count in ones and zeros. Just using zeros and ones, I know how to count to whatever you want to count to. Henry R says in New Jersey, they just showed a new service called Light-Fi. You can have, when you turn your light on in any room. Oh, hell no. Tie your whole house into some network. No, sir. Ain't doing none of that. Power Strategy says you broke free from the rat race. I did, sir. That's why I'm going so hard on this channel, Power and Strategy. You understand how it works. You see, I'm trying to impress better my voice after hearing you last night. Use my words more properly all the way to the end. I got to perfect my craft. So I take from the people that know how to do it. Sorry, man, I'm stealing from you. Nothing personal. No, just joking. I did. I'm proud to say I did. 40 hours of work week, 40-hour work weeks, man. I got on the other side and I was like, damn. Saturday and Sunday are just regular days. Yep, Linnell, Saturday and Sundays, they're just regular days. They're not special. It's just Saturday and Sunday. That's it. Broke. Herbert Walker says, my goal is to work part-time in 2021, but stay away from cubicle hell. And even work part-time, Herbert, whatever that is, you're gonna do what you love. I'm not against work. If I get a job that I love, like if I got an opportunity to work at the central bank, I would love that. If I got a job to work at one of the biggest banks in any state in the country, I would love that. Absolutely love it. Power and Strategy says, I want my freedom, old slave voice. Exactly, man. It makes sense. Thank you, Nicer. Power Strategy says, my voice was terrible. Audio even. Well, I could see last night you were having audio problems. That ain't got nothing to do with your voice, though, man. Nah, man, I like the way you keep. I like your style, man. I do. I like your style. I like the way you just come on, say your point, say it the way you want to say it. I like that, man. I do. You had a good one. That was a good one last night, man. Just listening to where you're like, LJ, you won't agree with this. It was like, oh, that's not really what I agree with. I'm about to listen to in what context are you saying it? You know what I'm saying? Because there's different contexts. You can say certain things and why people do certain things and with finances, whatever, right? But I thought it was awesome. And the way you ended it too, that was pretty cool too. I was like, what? I thought something was wrong with my connection. I was like, what? That's it. Damn, he cut that off in an hour exactly. See ya. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. I absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, Power Strategy, I absolutely love what I do. Absolutely love it. People that understand this YouTube stuff, who's serious. Just go to their YouTube channel. They put in work. I got over 500 videos. I'm putting in some work, and it's just now paying off. Just starting to pay off in a pandemic. If you're making money right now in a pandemic, imagine how much money you're going to make when the pandemic is over. People making money right now in a pandemic, they don't really understand what that means. Oh man, I took a loss. Are you making money at all? Yeah, then you killing the game. Everybody's taking a loss. Don't let people fool you that they look like on the outside that they're not taking a loss. That's a facade. That's an illusion. Everybody is affected. This is the new economy. The aftershocks of the pandemic was the purpose, not the pandemic itself. How do you know that, Linnell? Go outside, go to your city, go downtown. Does it look like there's a pandemic? People are crowded in restaurants. Does it look like a pandemic to you? No. Coronavirus was just the key to start the engine of the new economy. That's it. Nothing more than that. Pedro says, LJ, the thing is, I love the idea of using my CS major to fund my other streams of income. I don't want to depend on the job. No, what you're doing, Pedro, is perfect. All right. That's the only way you're going to earn money. You figure out how to earn the most money in the least amount of time to fund your dream. Exactly. Don't finance nothing. If you do that, the maximum you'll be working is 10 years. Become a successful computer engineer. No debt ever. In 10 years, you'll be set. You'll be ready. And during those 10 years, Pedro, I want you to be thinking about what it is that you would love to be doing as a passion. Because if I could go back, I would have worked 10 years maximum. I would have been retiring in 10 years. It wouldn't have been an age. I would have set a year. I would have said, how long do I want to go before I retire? I would have said 10 years. Power Strategy says, LJ, I am trying my hand at being an online notary. Okay. What are your thoughts? An online notary. Now, to make sure I'm understanding what notary is, like when they need to be in front of somebody to notarize a particular document as you witness them both. Is that what that means? To make sure my understanding of it is correct. Power Strategy says, I am transitioning to another money stream of being a closing title agent and starting an independent agency. Well, okay, let me tell you my thoughts. Okay, cool. Yes, correct. Okay. Let me tell you my thoughts and my view. All right. I think online anything is the way to go, period. That's just, it's going, even though it looks like the majority of people are going back to normal, as they say, but believe me, there's a large portion of people that are still nervous about the coronavirus. Okay. And if you can build a trust as an online notary, figuring out how to do that with the state guidelines or whatever you have to do it online, because I'm assuming you can't be a physical witness, right? So maybe there's going to be 2 windows you open up in some special software that says, okay, we are for sure that this person logged into this system and this person logged into this system. Their names and social security numbers have been verified that it's them, and then so on and so forth. As long as you get everything in legal standing that nobody can challenge it, I could see it going there. And as far as title agent, I figure like this right now, put it this way, Power Power and Strategy. Millions of jobs have been lost. Which equals millions of people out of work. That would mean millions of people have no money. They can't even get a job to make the amount of money that they did to make their payments, right? They're not even gonna come close to that. So that means millions are going to go into foreclosure. Millions of people are going to lose their house. Now, if a title agent can make money in that mix, if you're going that direction, that must mean you must know something about that area, right? So if you can figure out how that's going to make money for the upcoming housing market crash, because believe you me, there is a housing market crash and nothing's going to stop it. Nothing. It's coming. That aftershock has already started. It's already coming. It's part of the new economy. It's coming, right? So if you can figure out to be a title agent, how you're going to make money in that, all those foreclosed homes, maybe they need to be switched to the bank's name. I don't know how that stuff works. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound like something that you can make money off of it? Thank you, Nicer. Hit that like button and subscribe. Pedro says, LJ, I see the products I am trying to sell on Amazon selling 8,000 plus units per month, even during a pandemic. There is no limit on how much you can make there, but you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan, but that's smart. Online is just like Power and Strategies question. Online is the way to go. This is obvious. Jeff Bezos made billions extra. That tells you online is the way to go. That's what it tells me. Online is the way to go. Whatever it is, if you can figure that out right now, now is the time to figure it out. Now is the time. You got to just earn that trust, especially with money. Because remember, I keep focusing on trust right now because I want you guys to understand the bigger picture. Earning the trust in an untrusting world is key. Anytime somebody comes, hey man, I got this idea, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Are they trying to scam me? Are they trying to just get my money? It's a natural response. It's always, all you got to do is listen on social media. It's a natural response. If you can break through right now through this non-trusting world we're in right now, especially due to scammers, due to fear, due to panic in the world. It's various reasons why people don't trust, especially when it comes to money, and they think it's scarce. And even the bigger picture above that, I want you guys to see something. Money doesn't exist for people in debt. It doesn't even exist. That's why they're panicking over it. They don't know because it's not even real to them. So if you add an unknown cause, because the majority of people don't know they're in debt. They don't know they don't own a 30-year mortgaged house. They don't know they don't own a car if they finance it. They don't know that. Now you add an unknown fear and you add an obvious pandemic fear on top of that, and another fear of not having a job, and another fear of losing a job that they worked at for 30 years and don't have any other type of skill set. What am I going to do type of fear? If you add in all that fear, that's a lot of untrust. The untrust you know, and the untrust you know about, and the untrust they don't even know about. You figure out something that can break through that and earn their trust, you will be a multi-billionaire. I promise you that. This is the beginning of the new economy. The starting line is zero. This would those of you that are listening right now, During these next 6 months, we're about to go into June. During this next 6 months, you do whatever it takes to get to zero. Bankruptcy, sell, uh, leave, give back. You do whatever it takes to get to zero, because come January, if you're at zero, you get a head start of millions of people, millions. You'll be ahead of millions of people. All the millions of people that are in debt, all the millions of people that are going to be trying to get back to the old normal, which never exists, it's gone forever. And you're at zero, and you can see you're at the beginning of the new economy. You will be a multi-billionaire. All you got to do is earn the trust and believe in and earn trust and trust mathematics. Earn the trust of people, and always trust mathematics when it comes to your money. Always. Gabriel says, LJ, when do you think this recession will stop? What I want you to do, Gabriel, this is what I want you to do, man. I want you to stop using the word recession. Okay? Stop using the word recession, because it's not a recession. To the people in debt, yes, it's a recession. Yes, it is. To the obvious, remember, there's obvious that if the majority, put it this way, Gabriel, if the majority can see what you see, that's the wrong see. If you go up to anybody right now and say, hey, is there a recession? They will all say yes. You don't even have to be smart with money to understand that there's a recession going on. You don't really have to even, is there a recession going on? You ask the average person, they're going to say yes. What it really is a world economy reset. The majority can't see that. Like I said, I keep repeating too. I want to make sure you understand something. The pandemic, the coronavirus, was just the key to start the engine of the new economy. The aftershocks of the pandemic was the purpose. The aftershocks will be felt for the next 50 years because it's the new economy. The aftershocks, the aftershocks of the pandemic is what helped create the new economy. If you're in debt, you will never see or understand what I'm talking about. You'll never understand it. You'll never see it. It will be mathematically impossible for you to hear. I know this is hard for people to even grasp, but if you don't trust mathematics, you will never even hear what I'm saying. It's mathematically impossible for you to see it or hear it, even though you know it's mathematically true. What's that called? Cognitive dissonance. Not believing something that you know to be true. That's cognitive dissonance. There's two words for that. I didn't know that until I became debt free. I didn't know that. What does that mean? Why would I even want to know what that means? I don't even know what that would mean. What does that mean? It means refusing to believe something that you know is to be true. Sticking your head under the ground. You know you're not a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. Why are you calling yourself a homeowner? Huh? Okay, whatever. Why are you financing that car? Because you really have no money. That's why you're financing the car. But if you refuse to believe that, oh well, that's cognitive dissonance. Pedro says, most e-commerce marketing videos are scam. They only show the end result with nice cars and not the hard work that's necessary to make it. Imagine selling a $5 course to 500,000 people. Exactly. That's all you got to do. When I see, and this is just me, okay? And then we're gonna cut this off in about 10 minutes. When I go to somebody's YouTube channel and their page, and I see a bunch of cars and houses and stuff like that, I click off. They're not talking to me. As soon as I see a video, and then they first roll up in a Lamborghini, and then they hop out and they got Gucci shoes on and belt, and then they say, "Hey man, I used to be this and that, this and that." I go click off. You know why? Because they're using a gimmick. Any commercial that use gimmicks, I don't watch. They're not talking to me. You think I'm gonna buy car insurance from a gecko? You think I'm gonna buy car insurance because the general is with Shaq and the general is riding a low rider with Snoop Dogg? I'm not gonna buy general insurance. Why are they using that gimmick? They're not talking to me. The majority of TV commercials, they don't even talk about the product. Or what's that other insurance commercial where the woman is a white lady, just her and her friends are in yards and they're playing games or walking out through the fields and all that. Nothing to do with the product. They're just gimmicks. And I'm not downing these businesses for doing that stuff. I just know the commercials are not talking to me. I know exactly why they do it. I know why they're funny. I know why they put in puppy dogs and flowers and clouds and pretty clouds and everybody's smiling and joking around. I get it. But if you see somebody on the corner dressed in a Statue of Liberty outfit asking to do your taxes, I'm not going to that place. Linnell, why are you not going to use them? Because they're out on the corner in a Halloween costume. And I'm going to give them paperwork. If they do it wrong, I can go to prison for it, for tax evasion or whatever, get in some trouble. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? If you needed a lawyer and your lawyer came out in a Superman outfit talking about, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm here to defend you," would you take him serious? Then why would you trust a person on a corner dressed in a Statue of Liberty outfit in a Halloween costume? Again, I know why the businesses do it. I'm not knocking their strategy, okay? I'm not. I just know they're not talking to me. Like the other day I was looking at a Drive Time commercial. They got a robot in there and this lady dressed in green and this guy's in a car and money's raining from the ground and there's a puppy dog in it, and then they're making angels on the ground with money. It's just the stupidest of things. But look how long those commercials been running. It's working. Anyway, thank you everybody for jumping in here. Please, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to hit the super chat. Cash App donations, welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And again, I'm starting up my join only group. And what's going to happen is I'm going to reduce the amount of videos that I put on this side and start putting in more work on the other side. So if you guys look and see, wow, man, he hasn't put any videos for a long time, you got to hit the join button and then you'll see where all the videos are going. I haven't got any videos in there yet. I just got approved with the join button. So I haven't got any videos in there yet, but will be shortly. Don't worry about that. But there will be more in detail, with charts and stuff like that to show you mathematically what I mean when I say stuff like that, when I say mathematical things, Progressive insurance. Okay. Thank you, Nicer. Appreciate that. Nice. She says, though general commercials show scenarios that don't make no sense. A dude going to work riding a pig slow, just walk, dude. It's like, it's just the general commercials are just the dumbest commercials I've ever seen. But Snoop Dogg and Shaq, they're making money. If I get popular and they want to put me in a general commercial, would that conflict what I do? No, it wouldn't conflict. It's just business. People that knew me, if you saw me in a general commercial and you saw me in there, people that knew me, they knew exactly why I'm doing it. Business. All right, you guys, we're gonna get on off of here. Get on off. That don't even make any sense, Lil. We're gonna get off here. I'm gonna get off here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I much appreciate it. I'm gonna finish the rest of my day and go from here. See what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day here. Looked like it was raining for a second here. I'm about to get on out of there. Now you guys can literally join now if you wish, but I'm just saying right now there is no content in there yet. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But it will be content in there. So if you choose to hit the join button now, it's $4.99 a month. It's not just a starting price that I just made up just to see where it's going. And if it grows big, the earlier people that join now will be locked into that $4.99 price. And you guys will forever pay that. I'll figure out how that works, right? Or no, not forever pay that. I don't know. I'm just talking. Let me just stop talking out loud until I figure this out. I don't even know how it works. So let me not promise anything. All right. Thank you, Herbert. Appreciate it. Nicer. Have a marvelous day. Herbert Walker says people who are serious about building wealth will sign up for the join the group. Yeah. And that's who I'm looking for. That's why I'm creating it, Herbert, for the serious people. That's all. Thank you, Johnny Blaze, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. All right. Appreciate all the questions. Share with your family and friends, those who will listen. And the easiest way I'm finding that you could share with people you could just tell them to Google the hashtag SavingsMinusDebt. I will be the only one that comes up in that search. They just click on a video. And once they find the video in the YouTube, and they just click subscribe. They don't even have to go to YouTube itself and search for me. I try to I try to do it in the easiest way that people can follow me, right? Even an extra step going outside of their normal apps to go to another app, YouTube. Everybody uses Chrome, right? Everybody browses on the internet. So if they can just throw in Google hashtag SavingsMinusDebt and find me, that'll be the easiest way. You're welcome, Pedro. Happy to pass this knowledge, especially on a young person like yourself. I always, just like Gabriel, I always request all the young people, once you start making multi-millions of dollars, you need to promise me $1 million of that. Okay. I know you're going to have 30. You can give me one. Okay. I appreciate it. I just want one. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm gonna get on out of here. Appreciate it. 3 hours long. Until next time, you have a good day, Nicer. Okay. Have a good day.